You ever noticed how AI at work often means you copy text into a chat box, get a wall of prose back and still ship nothing faster? Same calendar, shiny autocomplete. Here is the shock. Inside Anthropic, teams say Claude Code helped rebuild Claude Code. Roughly 70% of it, not a demo, production. So here is the promise. Stop treating AI like a vending machine, manage it like a junior teammate with ridiculous typing speed, and you can move from nice draft to shipped outcomes. Today I'll show you how they do it and what is still. Mistake number 1. You park AI in a separate tab and wonder why nothing changes. It's like hiring a sous chef and making them cook in the hallway. You still do the real work inside the kitchen. Relatable. You ping a chatbot for ideas, paste them into your ID, realize the types don't compile, bounce back for fixes, that's where you'll get serious with agents next sprints. Meanwhile, the backlog ages like milk. Anthropic teams flip this. They keep the agent where the team actually lives, the terminal. Commands, diffs, tests, commits, all in one place. That single choice removes half the copy-paste theater. Anchor facts, they write a tiny project constitution, a CLAUDE.md, in the repo root, with style, rules, comments and architecture constraints. The agent reads it every run. That acts as a long-term memory and house rules for the task at hand. No mystery preferences, no vibe-based output. Anchor fact 2, they practice a TDD-style flow, ask the agent to write falling tests first and then ask it to write code that makes those tests pass. It's test coverage by design, no by guild. Anchor fact 3, when speed matters, they run agents in parallel on repo copies. One builds the feature, another refactors, a third writes docs, and they only merge when it's good. Think small, ruthless assembly line. And when Rust is the blocker, they scope it instead of giving blanket permission. A short whitelist of safe commands, run tests, commit to a branch, that level. Lets the agent work for long stretches without nagging approvals. Autonomy minus the side effects. Quick metric to make this real, in one internal case study, an infra team fed Claude a screenshot of a failing Kubernetes dashboard. The model diagnosed an exhausted IP pool and produced a fixed script. Downtime dropped from hours to minutes. That's not a better word, that's a shorter outage. Why does this mistake happen? Because most teams bolt AI onto the side of the processes. They keep the human path from start to finish exactly the same and then hope a paragraph generator makes it faster. It won't. If the agent isn't inside your build test review path, you're still alone on the critical path. Rhetorical gut check. If your agent disappeared tomorrow, would your workflow change at all? If the answer is not really, you are doing tool cosplay. Treat the agent as an operator inside your system, not as a tab that comments from the stance. Put the rules in Claude.md. Keep the action in the terminal. Start with tests, not vibes. Give it a clear whitelist and let it run. Analogy time. A restaurant doesn't ask the sous chef to brainstorm flavors in Slack. They hand them the receipt, the station and the service window. Same here, give the agent the house receipt, Claude.md, the kitchen, terminal and the tickets, tests. Then you plate. One more anchor because it matters for culture. Anthropic teams dogfood relentlessly. They say Claude Code was rebuilt largely by Claude Code. When your tool builds your tool, best practices stop being posters and start being pipelines. So if your current setup is a chat on this side, humans in the middle, that's mistake 1, treating AI like a sidecar while expecting it to drive. Mistake 2 is thinking the model should just start coding. You skip the flight plan and hit the throttle, then you act surprised when you are circling the runway with a low fuel and cranky crew. Quick definition so we aligned. A plan first. Runs means the agent writes a step-by-step approach before touching files. No code, only the map. Anthropic teams ask for that map up front. They literally tell the agent plan first, no code yet. Then nudge the steps and only then say go. The payoff is simple, fewer back and forth and fast approvals because the logic is right before the typing starts. You know the pain, wake ask in, wake output out. You say add tests, it sprays boilerplate, misses the edge case, and you are in long weekend of rewrites. Example 1 from the playbook, be hyper-specific. Instead of add test, say write a test for out.py that checks the user entering a wrong password 5 times, don't use mocks. That's a direct pattern Anthropic highlights and it saves hours of cleanup. Example 2, don't argue with code in the abstract. Ask it to read history. They prompt scan git history for this file and explain why choices were made. Then act on real context, less guessing, more traceability. Metric time, different flavor, not uptime, not speed numbers, approvals, a clear plan plus precise asks, turn many review cycles into a single thumbs up. No stopwatch needed to feel that change. Product Chronicle lesson, plan in the open. Make the agent write the route. You correct the route, then it flies. Aviation analogy fits. Pilots don't improvise crosswind landings from memory, they brief then act. Your repo deserves at least that much respect. Mistake number 3. Treating the agent like a fragile intern who needs permission to blink. Every small action gets a pop-up. Work stops, you stop, everyone stops. Definition quick. A whitelist is a short list of commands that agents can run without asking. Think git commit and npm tests, not deploy to prod. Anthropic leans on that list. Give the agent safe tools and it works for long stretches without tapping you on the shoulder. That's the words. Autonomy comes from scope, not trust falls. You felt the opposite. Example 1. The model tries to run tests that stalls because it needs a thumbs ups every time. Hours die in permission, ping-pong. Example 2. Same pain with version control. No right to commit to a branch, so it copies code into the chat window like it's 2009 and you become the unpaid paste robot. Anthropic's counter is twofold and very concrete. First, the whitelist allows safe comments so progress doesn't stall in trivia. Second, parallelism spin multiple Claude instances on repo copies. One builds the feature, one refactors, one writes docs, and merge only what's good. That factory line is explicitly recommended in the materials. Different metric this time, throughput, not time. With stop-start approvals you get sporadic bursts, with a safe command list and parallel branches you get continuous movements. It feels like a steady conveyor instead of a jam printer. Product Chronicle lesson, grant tools, set bounds and get out of the aisle. If the pit crew needs a socket wrench, don't make them file a ticket for every bolt. Yes, racing is the analogy today. The car comes in, the crew has pre-cleared moves and seconds matter. Your repo is the car. Your approvals should focus on the risky stuff, not the wheel nuts. One more Anthropic anchor while we're tuning the engine. They preach iteration over patching a bad run. Their one-arm bandit approach to drudge work says, launch, return in half an hour, accept or roll back the commits, then relaunch with a better instruction. No emotional rescue missions for broken branches. That mindset keeps momentum high and ego low. And remember their security team example, pasting a Terraform plan into Claude to ask what will change and whether it's risky. That's autonomy plus safety in the same breath. The agent reviews, you decide, nobody nukes prod. Let me put it plain, with a little repetition for truth, no plan, no context, no autonomy, no results. Plan first, runs set direction, saved memory in Claude.md, Lux rules, whitelists keep work flowing, parallel agents write output without heroics. These aren't slogans, they are the boring levels Anthropic actually uses. And if this all sounds tactical, hang on, the bigger problem is what you scale. Strategy intermission. We keep repeating the same cultural patterns. Worship the clever prompts, isolate the model in a side app, and call it innovation while the real work stays unchanged. We reward pretty demos over durable processes. We confuse control with interruptions, so approvals pile up until the agent can't breathe. Meanwhile, Anthropic's own materials show the opposite culture. Here is what to walk away with. First, write the house rules down where the work lives. Anthropic teams put a one-page Claude.md in the project root that lists style, comments and architecture constraints, and the agent reads it on every run. That tiny file becomes memory plus policy, not a slide deck. When instructions change, you update the file, not your hopes. It sounds boring, it is. It is also why behavior gets predictable. Second, make the machine prove it before it builds it. Their playbook starts with a plan first pass. No code yet, just steps. Then a TDD-style flow where the agent writes failing test and only when writes the code that makes them pass. This is how you trade vibes for evidence. The effect shows up outside code too. When an infra team dropped a screenshot for a broken Kubernetes dashboard into Claude, it diagnosed an exhausted IP pool and generated a fixed script, turning hours of downtime into minutes. That's the feel of a system that asks for proof instead of persuasion. Third, grant scoped autonomy and scale sideways, not heroically. The whitelist tactic, pre-approved safe commands like running tests or committing to a branch, lets an agent work for long stretches without nagging you. Then you multiply output by running parallel agents in repo copies. One builds the feature, one refactors, one writes docs, and you only merge the useful parts. When a run goes sideways, the one-armed bandit mindset set reverts the bad commit and relaunch with a sharper brief, rather than babysitting a doomed branch. So here is the closing nudge. Try one surgical change this week and let it compound. Add CLAUDE.md to one repo and list 3 rules the agent must follow. Swap do the task for plan first, then write test and fail. Then make them pass. Give the agent a tiny safe commands list and let it work without tapping you on the shoulder for the boring stuff. If you get nervous, keep the parallel branch and a fast revert ready. And yes, dogfood it. Use the agent to improve the agent setup and capture what worked. Drop a comment with the one line you'd put in your Claude.md tomorrow morning or the single comment you dare to whitelist without asking. If you want more practical, slightly impolite experiments like this, subscribe and ring whatever bell your platform still shows you.